All right. So let's talk about virtual events real quick. Airmeet, can you give like a really quick, how you differentiate what you do? What is Airmeet? And then we can kind of couch the context there where we talk about virtual events and how marketers can best leverage them.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we're a virtual hybrid in-person event platform. So we have this thing called the Event Experience Cloud. So with the Event Experience Cloud, you could put on any type of an event, short online events, large multi-day virtual online event, hybrid event, in-person event, internal team event. We let you put on as many events as you want through the Event Experience Cloud. We only charge you for attendees. A lot of people charge for registrations, which I think is insane. Like, no, just charge for the value that you deliver, which is putting the attendee at the center of every one of your events. And that's what we believe at Airmeet. We've designed our products. We have 4 products within this cloud to help you put the attendee in the center. So that means you can build that relationship, that trust, add that value to each person who attends your different events as well as you can through the help of the Airmeet team. And the other thing that makes us really unique is we have this thing called the Airmeet Support Lounge, and it's actually powered on the Airmeet platform where you could get support by emailing us if you want. You could chat in, but you can join this link. You go to our website right now and find it, and you're dropped into an Airmeet community instance, and you can sit down at a table, a virtual table, and you don't have to be on video, but you can be on video. And anytime during the day, someone will be at one of those tables to help you with anything related to your event or Airmeet. No one else does that. Instantly, within 30 seconds.
You already answered my next question when you said no one else does that. I was going to ask if this is something that people have also repurposed for their own efforts.
I mean, I can tell you HubSpot doesn't do it. I can tell you none of our competitors do it from what I know. You can go check it out. But yeah, so 24/7 support and that level of type of support. Apply Tools is one of our customers, SaaS company. Right? It's tech, more like engineering type related tooling, but that they just were talking to us today. And they're like, yeah, your service and support is out of control. How good it is. So yeah.
I'm surprised more people don't lean on that as a differentiator. It does seem to be something people talk about freely when it is the case. But
HubSpot did, and we're going to start making a hell of a lot of noise about it. You can see that on our website soon. It's going to be like one of the top 3 reasons why people choose Airmeet. So anyway, yeah. So we help people join together. If you simplify all of our value down to 2 different words, it's join together, and it's like join together to do what? You decide that. Join together to grow people's knowledge about something, join together to network, join together to start a new community organization, because we have a free product that you can use for lifetime for up to 50 people for every event. So we're just trying to make it easy for people to join together and get people out of like what the status quo is, which is Zoom, quite frankly. Like one of the things that I'd recommend you do is you start doing this podcast live. And we 100%. Will do this at Airmeet soon, where we'll have local recording. And like, why wouldn't you just do this live with a live audience and then edit it after the fact? You could build your community so much faster and so much in a more rich way if you offer this live as a weekly or bi-weekly thing versus doing it just as a podcast that gets syndicated out to the networks.
Yeah. So tell me more. I would love to do this. We're doing a lot of, I would say, events in general. So we do the podcast. We repurpose that into, many different channels and social media and all that stuff. We do a twice a month webinar. It's called Office Hours. We do twice a year virtual summit of 3 days.
Oh, wow.
I also do a lot of IRL stuff. So like tonight I'm hosting the Austin Growth Meetup. It's about 10 to 15 people and it's pretty casual. We'll do a little bit of like prompted questions, but it's mostly just networking. And I'm thinking like there's got to be a way to consolidate some of this stuff, to do like the hybrid event concept is fascinating to me. We haven't pulled that off yet, but like what we do, maybe live podcast could work, but definitely the office hours, right? Like where it's somebody giving a workshop and like teaching how to do something. That's something we could host a space at like Capital Factor here in Austin and like have those 15 people from my Austin Growth Meetup and also produce that online. But like, I don't know, this is a really rambling question, but like, what are we missing? Because I think we're doing things pretty like typically for like a B2B company.
Well, it's you're missing what HubSpot taught everyone, which is the education of how to do inbound marketing. You're actually doing what we call what you're doing event-led growth. You're using events, office hours, webinars, these big summits, the in-person stuff you're doing to grow your brand and business. It's very clear to me. You're doing event-led growth. So that's amazing. Congratulations. Mm-hmm. A lot of businesses don't even take to that level. Now it's like, well, how do we take this idea of event-led growth and simplify it and integrate it more together using one solution? And that's why we built the event experience cloud. So like you didn't have to use anything other than us to pull all that off. So like, for example, like, the in-person stuff, you could have people check in on your custom, mobile app that you could get through Airmeet and just have all of that together. So then, hey, I'm checking in on Airmeet. I have my profile. I could also use the same profile to attend an event online. It's all one and the same, right? And then for you get all the data, right? And it's just all one integration with Airmeet and your other CRM or marketing automation systems to actually power all this. And you have one bill. You only get charged for attendees, and you can also, stitch together your event-led growth strategy a bit more, right? Because then you can say, well, which audiences are going to which events? I have all that in one spot. I can segment things in Airmeet. I can see all that. So for us, it's just an education thing. Like our stuff is so powerful. Most event marketers only think about events in one way, in person, and they don't think about what you just said, and they don't think about, well, how do I do all this so it's working more for us and it's easier for me to do. It's I keep saying, but it's an education thing.
Well, I can already, first off, you are a natural salesperson, because I'm already like, we should use Airmeet, just so you know. But like I'm already like brainstorming. I'm like, all right, so if we have, let's say 300 people on each office hours session, and like some of those are the same, some are different. What would be interesting is if, like, say I'm traveling to Boston or New York City, it would be sick if I could see the people who have attended office hours who are in that city, because then I feel like I could do like a small group dinner, or I could do like a ad hoc meetup or something like that if I had all that data in the right place. I guess I could technically do that with HubSpot and just kind of like, well, I don't even know if I could do that with HubSpot. It would be hard to do, right? I would have to, it would be a little learning curve. Yeah.
Yeah. We've audience segmentation built in the product, and you could push those audiences to HubSpot in a smart list or to Salesforce. But yeah, I mean, the future of event tech is so wide open, because it's going to be super disruptive over the next 5 to 10 years, both on the front end from like, yeah, the AR, VR, God forbid, say metaverse type experiences, but like that stuff. And then on the back end, it's only going to get better, because most event tech don't use any AI. They don't use anything that integrates the event within the larger business strategy. I mean, it's just a massive, huge market and huge opportunity to kind of seize.
Are you guys, would you call yourself a event-led growth as well at Airmeet? Are you dogfooding the strategy?
Oh yeah, I mean, we do a thing called Eventions. It's a live episodic show that we're going to syndicate out to podcasts, networks at sometime soon. We've done 7 episodes coming up soon. We typically quarterly summits. We do a monthly power hour for all of our customers. So a customer-centric event. We use Airmeet for our support, like literally support lounge, right? Like, so Airmeet is not just events. You could also use it as a quasi community platform, which is super interesting, because we have these virtual, rooms and tables and spaces you can set up that aren't just a stage. It's not a stage. Like, that's one component, but like we have lounges, stages, virtual rooms, and breakout rooms and group meetings. Those 5 core things in our product. So yeah, I mean, for the most part, you could, some businesses, small businesses don't even use Zoom anymore. They just use Airmeet. But we're not at the level of like one-to-one meetings. Plus one-to-one meetings, how much innovation can happen there? Maybe some, but like, Zoom is a meeting company at the end of the day, right? So like, fine, they took that market. Teams took that market. We're trying to create experiences where people join together in larger groups that are much more customized, much more, about how do you get someone to remember something? Like, you're not going to remember many of your Zoom meetings. You will remember, though, a great event that had great people, great branding, great ways to participate in the event, online or in person. That's what you'll remember, versus like, how many Zoom meetings do you remember? Like, almost none.
I've forgotten almost all of my Zoom meetings, including all of the virtual happy hours that happened during the pandemic. But I will never forget, at HubSpot, we did a team event, and we did an Airbnb experience where we got to learn how to make street tacos from somebody in Mexico City. And I use it all the time. It was interactive, and she was teaching us, you got to do your tortilla this way. And it was like so nuanced and so personalized that I'll never forget that specific event, right? Like, that was an experience.
That's the whole key. And like, so we're trying to figure out, how do you take those types of experiences and do them online, and how do you do them in person and make the in-person thing easier for the event host to actually pull off and learn from? Because still like the in-person piece, we can influence that a bit more through technology, but like you just said, it's all about like the actual person-to-person experience, and that piece. But like from an event standpoint, there is a lot of data that's not either being captured or being used enough when it comes to in-person. It's definitely being missed.
This is exciting. We're coming up on time, but you've already given me a couple great contrarian takes, which I really appreciate. But I wanted to ask you a kind of broader level contrarian take question, which is the Peter Thiel question. What is something that you believe to be true about marketing or business that most people would disagree with you on?
Which answer do I want to give? Marketing is selling. Marketing is selling. Maybe that's not as disagreeable anymore, because so many people talk about, like, oh, it's revenue. You got to focus on revenue. It's revenue marketing. It's revenue. Like marketing has to report to the CRO. I'm definitely not advocating for that. I don't think marketing should report to a CRO per se, unless that CRO was a marketer. Anyway, that's the digression of a conversation. But marketing is about selling. Mm-hmm. It's about selling. So
yeah. I think many people would disagree with you. Not me though. Yeah. Our tagline on our website, I think, is like turn content into a growth channel, right? Like we're like, content can and should sell. Like you can do that. Yep. It's totally cool.